What's up, guys? Artem MMA Analysis here. Going to be talking about Bellator 284, Gracie versus Yamauchi, and I'm going to be open and honest with you guys. I wasn't planning on making a video on this card until earlier today when someone in my comments, I'm really sorry, I've already forgotten your username, was telling me to make a video, and I did look through, and I would like to thank everyone that watches these videos because a lot of my Bellator videos do tend to get the most views on my channel. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching this video. Thank you guys very much. But yeah, to be open and honest, I live in New Zealand, and Bellator doesn't actually have a main card broadcast in New Zealand, so I have to go through other ways to watch Bellator, and I haven't really been watching Bellator too much because of that real main reason. It's just hard to watch from there, hard to find somewhere to watch it. But I can watch the prelims on YouTube, and I will be. Let's talk about the Bellator prelims. We can complain about the UFC prelims all we want, but they are a lot better than the Bellator prelims. And we've got an amateur fight on here. Brett Bai versus M.A. Yar the second, I believe is his name. He's 4-0, technically potentially 5-0 if this unknown result is a win. I'm just going to pick him. He seems to be the better striker out of the two. I will be honest, I haven't actually watched any of their fights. I'm just going to go with the more experienced guy to win. Now, Mitchell McKee versus Tony Ortega. If there's going to be an upset in this fight, in any of these prelims, I will be picking all the favourites. But if there's going to be a single upset, it probably will be this fight. I'm not going to lie. You know, Mitchell McKee, he's 2-0 and he's looked really good in his performances. The two guys he's fought, though, are 0-1 and 0-1. You know, so we haven't really seen him tested at all. And Tony Ortega, although having a 5-4 record, is a much more experienced opponent for Mitchell McKee to take on. He did beat a guy that was 4-2 recently, and a guy that was 3-1 in about a year and 2 months ago. So he has been fighting quite often, but he hasn't really been losing and beating the greatest guys in the world. But if there's anyone that's going to test Mitchell McKee early on in his career, that the Bellator thinks that he's going to dominate, it's probably going to be Tony Ortega. I'm picking Mitchell McKee, but if there's anyone on this whole card in the prelims that's going to get a crazy upset, it probably will be Tony Ortega in my opinion. We move on. Bailey Schoenfelder, a guy that the Bellator is building up. They gave him a guy with a losing record in the last one. They're giving him Mark Courier. He's not super big for a heavyweight. He's only 224 pounds, but there's a YouTube video out here of Mark Courier's fights. I'm not too sure. I can't really remember which one it was. But, yeah, he doesn't look amazing. So I'm going to be picking Bailey, like everyone else is, to win this one here. He's like minus 1,200. Unplayable line, especially with the lack of experience we're getting. Isaiah Hokit versus Nick Perez. I'm not actually too familiar with who Isaiah Hokit is, or Hokit, sorry, who he is, but he seems to have like a wrestling background, and he seems to be a guy that Bellator wanted to build. Like, they gave him a guy that was 2-2 and he got knocked out, so he obviously didn't start out the way that they thought he would, but now they're building him back up. They're giving him a debuting guy that hasn't fought for 4 years, and 4 years ago that was an amateur fight. Like, yeah, Isaiah Hokit by wrestling, and then I guess ground and pound or submission is probably how he's going to win. We move up, we've got Patrick Downey versus Jeff Soda. I'm picking Patrick Downey. He's got no amateur fights in MMA at all, but he is a very good grappler. He has been doing some grappling tournaments. He's grappled with Gordon Ryan. He's wrestled with Gordon Ryan. He's also grappled with Jake Shields as well. Like, he's obviously got good grappling experience. There's a lot of people picking him to win by KO. I'm picking him to win by submission. I think that he probably should win his submission, but he's like minus 1,200 in his debut. Like, this line is so unplayable, it's crazy. And Jeff Soda hasn't fought for about 3 years, and now he's making his pro debut. Not too sure where his motivation is at. Sullivan Cooley versus Tyson Jeffries. I can't remember for sure, but I think I picked Sullivan Cooley to beat Big Tuna Ben Parrish. I think I actually might have beat... So I think I might be lying to you guys. I think I picked Ben Parrish to beat Sullivan Cooley, and Sullivan Cooley beat the Big Tuna, who won as a big underdog in Bellator. But anyway, Tyson Jeffries, 14-10, hasn't fought for 4 years. Like, how am I supposed to know what this guy's going to look like if he hasn't fought for 4 years? But he is from where one of the GOATs grew up, the bad, mean streets of Huntington Beach, California, the Huntington Beach bad boy Tito Ortiz. Yeah, Sullivan Cooley, he should win this one. This is a step down in competition from Ben Parrish, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm picking him to win. He'll probably win by KO as well. I mean, this guy, Jeffries, hasn't fought for 4 years. How am I supposed to know what he's going to look like? And now, in one of the last prelims of the night, Deanna Bennett taking on Justin Kish for a second time. In the first one, Deanna Bennett just kind of looked to be better almost everywhere. Yeah, Justin Kish got a pretty big win over a former champion in Ilima Lake McFarlane, who they were hyping up her return big time, and then Justin Kish defeated her. Man, that was kind of crazy, not gonna lie. But yeah, I think Deanna Bennett should win this one. She's almost 38 years old. She's on the Ultimate Fighter at some point in her career, I believe. And she just looked a little bit better kind of everywhere than Justin Kish, so I'll pick her to win a decision again. Wouldn't bet the fight though, to be honest. Josh Hill versus Marcos Breno. I feel like maybe Marcos Breno's been a little bit slept on. I feel like he's a really good up-and-comer, and he's probably a really good prospect for Bellator to sign. So if Bellator didn't pick him up, this guy probably would have ended up on Dana White's Contender Series. I mean, he's 14 wins, 2 losses, and 13 out of 14 of those wins have come by finish, and Josh Hill recently has been winning a lot of decisions. He's been going the distance. He did win by KO in his last one, but he does have a few decision wins on his record. Marcos Breno, in my opinion, is the guy more likely to finish the fight, but I do think that Josh Hill, he's more experienced, he's an older guy, he's a veteran of the sport. I think he's going to figure out how to beat Marcos Breno inside the octagon if he hasn't already, watching fight tape. But I think that Josh Hill's going to throw a lot more volume. He's going to put the pressure on Breno, and he's going to look for takedowns as well if he needs to. He's going to win a decision here. Marcos Breno, if they wanted to build him up, they probably could have given him a much easier opponent, but they haven't. Yeah, Bruno's been in there with a couple of LFA guys, which is cool, and he has beaten a couple of good guys, and he's fought Taylor Lapalus as well, who I think just re-signed to the UFC. But anyway, yeah, let's move on. Josh Hill decision is the pick. Bruno potentially a live dog with his finishing ability though, for sure. Alright, Austin Vanderford versus Aaron Jeffrey. I've been on Austin Vanderford pretty much the whole time. Aaron Jeffrey is taking this fight on short notice, but all of his guys' losses have come to very good guys. He fought Sean Brady when he was like 2-0 in his career, and then he fought Caio Borralho on Dana White's Contender Series, and he also lost to Brendan Allen earlier on in his professional career. Short notice comeback after he recently defeated Fabio Aguilar 5 weeks ago. I want to pick Aaron Jeffrey, man. I really do, because I have a lot of love for Aaron Jeffrey. You know, I feel like he's a guy that didn't make it into the UFC, but I believe he's deserving of being in the UFC. Now he's in Bellator, and he's got a massive opportunity to beat Austin Vanderford, who's a big name in general. And he's also a big name because he recently just fought Gegard Mousasi for the title. Let's do it. Let's pick Aaron Jeffrey. As you can tell, I'm not confident though. I want Aaron Jeffrey to win, I really do. So I'm going to be picking Aaron Jeffrey to win. I'm going to pick him to win by KO. I mean, we don't see Gegard Mousasi knocking guys out as easily as he did to Vanderford at this point of his career. So yeah, give me Aaron Jeffrey by KO. Alright, this fight here, not gonna lie, not confident picking Gokhan Sarikam. He seems to throw a lot more volume on the feet than Saeed Somar, and I'm gonna be brutally honest, that's kind of the breakdown I have for you guys. Both guys are heavyweights that don't seem to get a lot of finishes. Like, he got a KO a few years ago, and then he won by ground and pound, but sorry, I lied to you guys. Hold on. I'm getting confused. Anyway, the point is, I think the fight does go the distance. I'm picking Gokhan Sarikam to win a decision. I got confused. Ignore that. That didn't happen. That did not happen. Ilima Lake McFarlane taking on Bruna Allen, and I know Ilima Lake McFarlane is thinking of retiring, which is interesting, especially considering she's taking an up-and-comer in Bruna Allen, who is 6-3. She has been in there with Juliana Velasquez as well. She's beaten a couple of good fighters in her career, and this is, in my opinion, a huge opportunity here for Bruna Allen to pull off a slight upset over a girl that might retire and a former champion in Ilima Lake McFarlane. She took time off due to injury after losing to Juliana Velasquez, and then she looked not that great against Justine Kish in a super hyped comeback. Bellator put a lot of stock in Ilima Lake McFarlane, and when she come back, gee, she did not look that great. I mean, Bruna Allen in this matchup might even be the better striker. I think Ilima Lake McFarlane's got way better grappling though. I'll pick her to win by submission or decision, but if she's thinking that she's going to retire, like, she might retire, might not. I don't know if she's going to be taking training 100%. Bruna Allen training for potentially the biggest fight of her career. There's an opportunity for an upset. Don't bet this fight at all, in my opinion. And the next one, I think we've got a dog and past fight. I'm picking Valentin Madovsky, but Steve Murray is 10-0 as a professional, and he's also 7-0 as an amateur as well, which I think is something that you can't overlook. This guy does have a lot of experience, outside of the professional leagues, and he did beat the same guy twice to start his thing. Imagine if it's just like his friend. He's like, "Oh, bro, I'll pad your record. I'll give you 2 amateur wins." That's kind of awesome. Not gonna lie. But anyway, we move on. He hasn't really been fighting the greatest guys in the world. I mean, Sean Asher's almost like 40 years old right now. Hakeem Cleveland's a guy that is powerful on the feet, but he has been exposed a lot on the ground. And Steve Murray's a good wrestler. He's a good grappler. He is, but Valentin Madovsky's pretty well rounded. I think when I watched the fight live, I was somewhat surprised at the Ryan Bader decision, but I haven't watched it back since. So I don't actually know if that was just me being a little bit biased at the time, because I think I picked Bader to win the fight as well, actually. But anyway, the point is, I think Valentin Madovsky had a lot of success in that fight against Bader. We know that Bader isn't amazing, but he's pretty good. Steve Murray's 6'8", and he's a big heavyweight as well. But the jump up in competition between Hakeem Cleveland and Sean Asher to Valentin Madovsky, in my opinion, is a little bit too much of a jump. I think Valentin Madovsky is going to hand him his first loss ever, which is pretty crazy. And I think he's going to get done by decision. Moldavsky's not really a guy that will finish you, even though he did hurt Ryan Bader pretty badly in that fight. Or am I thinking of the right fight? I might be thinking of a different fight. Anyway, point is, Naaman Gracie is taking on Goiti Yamauchi in the main event, and if you guys know me, you know I love Goiti Yamauchi, man. I've got a lot of love for Goiti. He's in very exciting fights. I have been campaigning for Goiti to move to the UFC for a long time, because I think that Goiti could make a huge name for himself in the UFC. You know, he's half Japanese, half Brazilian, and he's just awesome. You know, he's got a great fighting style, he's got a great striking style, he's got a great jiu-jitsu style as well. That is where he finishes a lot of fights. 27 wins, and I believe most of them are by finishes, and he's been in Bellator for a very long time, making a good name for himself since 2013. Might I add, but if we look at his record, he's got 21 wins by submission on that record, which is crazy. And it's so crazy as well because he's taking on Naaman Gracie, a guy from a legendary MMA family, a legendary jiu-jitsu family, and he also has 9 wins by submission. Don't know where he got 12 from. I'm an idiot, but the point is, man, like, there's a good chance this fight doesn't go the distance. I do believe it is going to be a 5-round fight as well in the main event. I think that Goiti Yamauchi should win this one. Naaman Gracie recently did a main event against Logan Storley. I picked Logan Storley to win that fight. Just thought he's a little bit more well-rounded. And I'm going to pick Goiti Yamauchi for the exact same reason. I think Goiti Yamauchi is a little bit more well-rounded as well. I think the better striker is Goiti. I think that he's going to be able to defend the submission attempts of Gracie. I think he's going to be able to defend the grappling of Gracie and keep the fight on the feet. And I think that Goiti Yamauchi is the much better striker out of the two. So give me Goiti to win the fight. I think the fight probably does go all 5 rounds, so give me Goiti Yamauchi to win a decision by defending a lot of the takedowns, defending a lot of the grappling attempts by Gracie and just outstriking him on the feet, just being the more well-rounded fighter. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that quick picks, quick predictions, and yeah, thank you guys very much for watching the video. I'm not too familiar with Bellator, as I said at the start, but I'm working on it. I will be watching the card. Probably delayed on some sort of streaming service, but I'll be there, guys. I'll be watching. I'll be in the live chat as well, the prelims, so if anyone wanted to chat it up. Even though I think there's like multiple different servers, because I remember I was trying to find one of my friends in one of the servers and I couldn't find him. So yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, as always, man, keep it classy, keep it cool, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much for watching the video.